Good evening, everyone. I know this is the last session of the evening and the conference, so we'll keep it light and easy. So we have some two fantastic individuals here, Sabu Cyril and Sendil, both, seasoned technicians from the Indian film industry, and I have the pleasure of working with them on Bahubali for 5 years intimately. Sabu is a multiple award-winning production designer and has worked from small films to big films. And Sendil, of course, has been a regular with Rajamouli. And their latest combination is RRR, which has been doing wonders around the world. And they've been the backbone for bringing Rajamouli's vision to life, I should say. So a big hand to them. So I'll start off with the latest news that RRR has been nominated for two Golden Globe Awards, and that's a big achievement. And it's, I think, for the first time in 20 years that Indian film has made it to the nominations, and the very first song from India ever to be nominated. It's a big deal, and I think there's a good chance that it'll be going to the nominations for the Oscars as well in some form or the other. So I just want to have a quick word from Sabu and Sendil. What does this all mean and how do you feel about it, Sabu?
Basically, it's a recognition for us and this and appreciation also for the work and hard work we have put in. And the vision of the directors come through and we all work towards that. If people are appreciating it, I think that's the best thing which we can have in our career.
Sendil? Sendil?
Yep. See, the kind of hard work we have put in and the kind of vision Rajamouli had. So we are constantly be working my association with Rajamouli is like almost 20 years. And with every film, we have been trying to push the boundaries of Indian cinema. And probably this is the time the world is recognizing us. So it took us 20 years for the world to recognize us. Okay, there are people in India who are making films which the world can see, and I am very happy and proud that our Indian films are appreciated so much from the Western critics and the film directors, producers, filmmakers all over not only West, all over the world, like East in Japan to West in America, everywhere in the world, our film is being appreciated. So it's a great step forward for the whole of Indian film industry, and I'm very proud to be associated with this kind of a film.
Wonderful. And do you think that this would be mean more opportunities for Indian films as a technicians, for more opportunities for technicians or filmmakers in general? Will open up for the larger in world?
Definitely. See, it is the film is appreciated not only for complete film itself, but also like lots of technicians involved in the film. Like Sabu got a lot of nominations into so many award categories, so many awards, and me or what I can say, Srikar Prasad Garu to Srinivas Mohan VFX. So all the other technicians' work is also been appreciated, recognized, and also been considered as okay, one of the best in the world. The moment you are nominated itself, it means that okay, your work is on par with anyone in the world. So that's a great recognition, and it will definitely give lots of opportunities for other technicians who are involved in the film industry, and definitely it's a very aspirational thing for so many people who are looking forward to making a name and want to join the film industry. Definitely, I think it will definitely open up in a big way, and seeing the way RRR did business, I also think that probably lots of Hollywood productions would like to co-produce Indian films like it happened in China or something like that.
That's wonderful. And one of the things that I've noticed is that now with RRR, the film, everybody is appreciating, especially in the West, appreciating the technology and the quality of production on all technical aspects, but also at the cost that is a fraction of the cost that the Western studios spend. So they are able to deliver at a very very nominal cost relative to Western world, a very cutting edge technology and cutting edge filmmaking. So can you just, Sabu, enlighten us on how you've been able to innovate or in RRR or across all your films to bring some other scenes to life? What are some of the ways in which you're working and innovating?
First thing I should say, we are actually competing with the Hollywood films, where next screen, a Hollywood film is running and our film is in the next screen. So our budgets are not as high as them. It's actually, if you compare to them, we have only shoestring budgets. Especially if in our department, like for production designing, putting sets and to make them notice our job itself is a big challenge. If you are even talking, as Sindhil said, if they are recognizing you as one among their best talents, that itself is a great achievement, I feel. Now, we also use technologies and whatever useful to our job as such. Now, miniature and all those things are very old techniques which they use, but it still works. Even in Hollywood, I think it's combined with CGI so that you get better texture and better gravity and the look wise and things like that, which can be corrected, which we used to call those days. I started my career doing visual effects, not special effects, using miniatures, foreground, glass mat paintings. Those days, I think we couldn't even erase a string which we use. So it was called tape, wire, and rubber band style. From there, we have come so much. Today, we are using almost artificial intelligence, and we are actually, to tell you, we do the designs and the background for the virtual studios. We use Unreal Engine, which is a game engines, and they have developed to such a level where we are able to achieve in one studio floor. We can shoot multiple setups, which I have to take care of it. And even for storyboarding, there are apps and this one which has come up called Arta, and which I think Edward, Rodney Edward is the one who, and one Sharma, Indian guy, was the one who brought in this. It's fantastic actually for storyboarding. If you just type it out what you need, it just brings out the sketches actually, and you can move around, just mark it. And Pratham, in what we use now is actually in 3D model sets, where we can even move around. It is attached to the 3D modelers, editors, and so it is much easier to visualize. Only for concept arts, we can even go for like Gali, like when we started.
The AI, the AI-driven
So we started with that, but now they have perfected it much more in Mid-Journey.
Mid-Journey, yeah.
So it is a fantastic one. So I think we should exploit the technologies available. And today we are using most of the things, including for designing and we to show the cameraman and this one itself. When we produce concepts, we sometimes use 3D. And I have done with Unreal also. So the texturing and lighting is easy. For me, when I studied in college, we didn't have computers then. So as soon as I passed out of the college, the computers came, and then I had to learn everything. Today I'm very happy that I'm sitting with my assistants who are much more advanced in this one and still working with them, because Unreal, the one best thing is that it's a real-time rendering, where you can move around things according to light, like fix the light and move around and create as. Those days I used to do miniatures on tabletops, which I used to do the same thing, same process. So like how today the directors were not used to the green screen, and even a cameraman who can't frame without seeing what is there in real. Now technology is helping them to that level where these virtual screens have come in, and the volume is working quite well for them.
Thanks, Sabu. That's, yeah. Sabu, for many of you who might not know, Sabu started his career with Jagadik Viruda Atlaku Sundari. So, with the song sequence there. And now he's with RRR latest, but yeah, a long journey from those days to now. So, Sendil, what do you, how was, like, let's take the case of RRR, and let's take the episode of, let's say, the interval sequence where the animals come out of the sequence. I know it's one of the most challenging sequences, even from technology perspective and shooting perspective. How did you bring that to life?
It is one of the extremely complicated sequence, and as you know, like in Rajamouli's film, generally interval is a very big bang, and is right from student number one to every film. His interval sequences has always been the highlight of the film. So this and two of India's biggest actors or stars are there's a confrontation which is going to happen. So the expectations of audience are very high, and he wanted some really out of this world visualization to happen at that sequence. So to get that into reality, like okay, like we did stunt whiz, we did pre-visualization and all that. But the biggest challenge was when we were on the set to shoot. Like we had so many animals which are suddenly which were caged and suddenly run loose. So how do we make the characters who are like playing see where the animal is, and as a DOP, as someone who is operating the camera, to understand where the animal is, how it is going to happen. So we just can't blindly shoot it and think that okay, in post someone will put the animal and all. So we used something called NCAM, which is a tracking software. So and director was very particular about how the animal speeds and others should be. It should not look tacky. If a tiger is running, it should run at a natural speed. If a wolf is running, it should run at its natural speed. So those were calculated, and we pre-visualized the whole thing of what is the path tiger will take or that thing, and which was fed into my monitor which was there. So based on that, I had to operate. So which was a completely new experience for me. So initially, like it took lots of practical time of how I operated and all. Once I got it, yeah, that really helped us. So when you see when an animal is attacking or how people are reacting to animals, so that was like really came out convincing. And then Sabu also we use some robotic cars which like were passing in between the crowd, so that like okay, that defines an animal's path. So like for the audience to, for the characters who are playing to look at them and other things. So these kind of new technologies were used. Then we use LED strip. So many because it was a very huge collaborative effort.
Right.
So we tried to use technology as much as possible in bringing to vision what we set out to.
Sabu, in the train, in the bridge sequence where the two heroes meet for the first time, there was a lot of miniature work, right? Yeah. Can you, including the train was a miniature. If I don't know how many of you noticed that, but it's a built-to-scale miniature, and Sabu was responsible for getting that bit designed and built. Yeah.
See, actually, before coming to that, I just want to add up one thing.
Sure.
The interval sequence where the animals have been unleashed. Just before that, the whole truck comes and bangs onto a door, and that breaks, and then it comes through the second door, and then the whole truck comes with this and turns around and stops at one point. So the first, the door breaking was a miniature, and the miniature door was exact design replica of this one which I did in 3D model, 3D printing. And then we use such a material which can actually break into pieces. And then the whole truck comes into the sun, and that truck again, it's on track. It didn't have wheels. It was on a like a track and trolley, but we made a rail for that where it will come and turn and stop by itself. Actually, it didn't have an engine, so we had to simplify the things so that it will be on the precise point. Now coming to the train sequence where one of the tankers fall off and blast, and then it falls into the water. We had 3 different scales actually. The real one which touches the water had to be in real size, where the fire catches, because or else the fire looks smaller. And the one which is on the track and which comes out, there's a blast which is happening. We had to do it in about 1/4 scale, because again the same problem here is with the miniaturizing. When you miniaturize other things, the flames look bigger. And I think that came out very well. And in combination with the CGI and how we shot and what angles we shot, all those things also matters a lot. So technically, I think we are a brilliant team. And more than everything, I should say, these things can be achieved or shown to people or so only when you have such challenges. Right. Someone thought about it.
Right.
I think Rajmouli thought about it, and we could show our talents. And so getting an opportunity to show our talent itself was a big thing, actually.
No, definitely imagining is one thing, but bringing that imagination to life is the bigger challenge. And both of them I've worked with them, and I know that they never like to say no to a director. So whatever the director asks, come what may, they make sure it happens. So that's the greatness about both these two individuals here, fantastic individuals. So yeah, just coming to the next things, I know like you, Sabu, you touched on virtual production and Unreal Engine and digital sets. Now it's a lot of in-camera VFX that are happening. So how do you see this going forward in terms of, do you think physical sets will go away and mostly people use completely digital sets, or is it a lot more? I know it's just early stages, but do you think a lot more will happen?
See, actually, a lot of people used to ask me those days when CGI came, will you be out of job? I told no, we have to update ourselves and try to. Technology will always grow, and we have to just catch up with technology and utilize it for our benefits.
Right.
If you start thinking like that, I don't think we are doing justice to the
Absolutely.
inventors, or in fact, it's making our things easier.
Right.
I remember those days we used to sit and paint on glass ICU and all those things from the back, and today we have just order over the phone, this is the size and this one, they'll do cutting in vinyl stickers and we paste it.
Right.
From there, color Xeroxes onwards, it has helped me so much in my career.
Right.
Today, we are using technology left, right and center.
Right.
And whatever is available, like now, what we spoke about the virtual studios.
Right.
If my work will be much more easier, I can think of better things and more challenging jobs, because the backdrop is done.
Right.
Because we have to spend a lot of time in pre-production where we have to create the whole backdrop, and only lighting has to be matched here, and the foreground things I have to match it.
Right.
That is a challenge now.
Right.
But if you are, I think, being trained that way, and if you have the talent, I think it is not a very difficult thing. Only thing,
Right.
we should never think it is very difficult, because you take it as a challenge and try it out, it will work. It has to work, or else there is, for every problem there is a solution. That's what I believe. So I think it has made our work much easier
Right.
if you can really utilize the technologies available.
Absolutely.
So tomorrow, even the virtual studios, which even the screens.
Yeah, virtual,
itself.
yeah, LED screens.
Now we are. I've been working on now metaverse, which we are calling it Mayaverse. We are creating a metaverse, which Hastinapur.
Yeah.
The city which was during the Mahabharata period. I'm doing the designing part and executing it with a team from Hyderabad.
This is based in Triple IT, right?
Yeah.
You're based in Triple IT. Yeah.
And there are 120 people working on that.
Right.
And present day of Hastinapur, how it will be in combination. Right. So some will be ruins and then 4022 also we are planning.
Wonderful.
So how it will
Future.
Look. Future. That will be a real experience even for the students and for children who wants to know about that, because the people, when they have such experience, will remember. I remember seeing Avatar about, how many years is it? 22 years or something, before it was released. It was a fantastic experience. Not only that, I think now once such theaters come also, not only the VR glasses, I think it will be used for medicinal purpose, like psychosis, and maybe even people who have problems which like the who doesn't have sleep, like
Insomnia.
insomnia and other things, maybe because of some reason. So when they are brought into this world, your reactions and other things, and then the same feeling is brought in. Like, and so you might be able to even correct certain problems which you, like transmigration, like they talk about. They go in for a therapy, hypnosis.
Right.
Hypnotic therapy where they can do it. It will be almost like hypnosis, I'm saying.
Got it. Okay.
So I think even subjects will be almost based on that, where one day people will come out of the theater and say, oh, I had this problem, now today it's not there. So maybe in an entertaining way we can treat people also.
That will be wonderful. So I think we're running out of time, but any closing thoughts, Sendil?
Our topic was supposed to be immersive technology.
Yeah, I know. We talked everything except.
Yeah. No, definitely the future technology is as Shobhu was asking whether virtual production will take over. Technology has always helped making our life easy, not only filmmaking, life easy, and it's all about how we use our technology and how we adapt it to our life is very important. You should not shy away from technology, because if you shy away, you are probably the job you are doing today might not exist tomorrow.
Right.
The rapid way, how the technology is changing. So whatever new is happening, you keep your eyes open and try to adapt it in your work, or try to learn and unlearn. So that is the way forward in life, because the kind of rapid technological changes which are happening, we really can't think that, okay, like earlier, like if I was at a bank job, okay, like till I retire, I'll do the same job.
Right.
So with that kind of changes which are happening, so we need to keep our eyes and ears open and like adapt to new things, so that we will be relevant
Yeah.
in the process of anything which you are doing, kind of a thing.
That's wonderful. So it's basically about adapting to new technologies and how we use it and how we keep learning and use it in upping our game and delivering great products. Thank you both of you for a wonderful conversation. Unfortunately, I can't take more time. It's been I've been told to strictly end the conversation after 25 minutes. So thank you so much. It's been wonderful talking to you. Bye.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
panelists. But you know, I'm not going to let all of you go because this has been the last session and everybody was looking forward to this session a lot. I'm sure there must have been some questions coming up from the audience. So if you have any questions, please raise your hands. Oh, there are a lot of them on that side of the stage. Can we have the mics passed on over there, please? Since this is the last session, we are just going to take a couple of questions and then we are going to move on to the vote of thanks.
Hello, sir. I think we met before over there. So I just want to ask you about technology. So right now we talk about the technology that exists. So as Saibu sir talk about Avatar. So where you're looking about the technology, we can compete with Hollywood.
I didn't follow the question. What was that?
Technology.
How are we looking at technology?
Yeah, you are looking at. Still, where we want to look into the innovation and upcoming startups.
Yeah.
What are the areas?
So there's I think I'll answer the question, but I'll take the question. It's a lot of new things happening in the space of AI and machine learning, which are being very relevant to media and technology space, especially in filmmaking, 3D animation. Unfortunately, we didn't have the time, but all of them are working on it. So there's a lot of, from ChatGPT that you have recently launched, where it is helping writing scripts to poems, to lyrics, to AI, which is helping production design and in Sendil in color corrections and visual effects, optimizing workflows. So a lot of work happening in that space. Yeah. That's.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. My question is to Sendil, sir. I'm a co-founder of a media tech startup and also a film buff. My question is, how hard was it for you to shoot Ega second half, while at that time there was, given that it was, you did not have that much of technology right back then, and how would you compare that experience with the shooting part of the interval sequence of RRR? How hard it was for you to shoot that, and also how different was the experience?
Quite an interesting question. At that point of time, see, like we always try to use whatever technology is available and whatever we can push wherever we can push. So that was the same philosophy at that point of time and even at this point of time. So like probably if this today's technology was available at that time, we could have used that. So like, but compared to RRR, Ega was definitely a very, very challenging project because like right from the camera itself, like we now had digital cameras. At that time, we shot it on negative. So negative has certain limitations in terms of what the films which are made and other things. And at that point of time, the kind of quality of negatives which we had were probably like second grade quality of negatives compared to what Hollywood was using. But at this point of time, we are using the same camera, same lenses and everything which we are using. So we are in a much, much better time and space at this point of time. So philosophy-wise, challenge-wise, yeah, both are being extremely challenging, and everything has its own unique challenges which can't be compared to each other because it is not 2 + 2 = 4 kind of a thing. So that is it is more of it because it's a creative process. It has own challenges in both of them. Hope that answers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I admire your work really. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll take just last question now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kiran. I also wanted to ask, I have a question for both of you. One is for Sendil sir. You were working right from Magadira where Rajamouli sir was actually carrying a tape to actually measure and such, and you had to acquire an electronic device from the US to measure distance. And we don't have many directors who actually go to that length to start and to look into details, so detail-oriented directors. And you both have been working there. So one question about your careers that I'm curious to ask is, doesn't it exhaust you when you have to work on such large-scale productions all the time? And I have one more question for Sabu Cyril sir. With particularly in case of Bahubali, where you are actually using a lot of technology, including the propeller that you used on the chariot for Rana, where it was actually a polycarbonate fiber that was taken from a helicopter, and 3D printing the head that you had there, and how Ramoji Film City's Maya Studio actually helped the whole setup. How could you do that? And if we need, or do we have enough such setups today, given that we traveled a few years from there? So these two questions I had for you, both of you.
Okay, like I have been working with Rajamouli since Sai. It was like, so the kind of passion he has towards cinema is the kind of passion I also share towards cinema. So like it is the passion which drives you actually, like when you are making, when you are in a project and you know, okay, this is what we are looking to, this is what is the end product you are looking at. So you are always driven and focused. And as you told, like having the focus over a period, like generally a film on an average will be, everyone shoots a film for 8 months to 1 year, but we generally shoot for like 5 years, 4 years, because of various factors actually, like because like we don't want to compromise at any point of time. Thankfully we have producers like Shobhu garu who support us. So that is the thing. So when you have a producer who is supporting you, when you have a director or a leader who is like having a vision, so that itself is an enough motivation to drive forward. And as a team, when someone, we always had wonderful teams. I have been fortunate to work with wonderful teams where like probably when one person is losing motivation, some other guys comes up with some innovative work or some very inspiring work. So that actually motivates the other person in the team. So as I always believe that filmmaking is a very, very collaborative art, and everyone in the team inspire each other. So that is how I have been in a position to work on longer scheduled films.
Coming to the materials which I used in Bahubali, if you're asking for, like carbon fiber we use even for Prabhas's swords, which had to be as hard as steel, but lightweight. So which is used normally for helicopter blades and things like that. So that, I thought that was the easiest thing to use because it served the purpose. Though it's little expensive, it must be 1/3 or 1/4 more than the other one, but it serves the purpose. The other one can break at any point of time. This doesn't break. 3D printing, we got the head of radar done in an industrial one because it had, because the features I didn't want it to change, and it's a 100-feet statue. The head alone is around 14 feet, I think. So that face, the resemblance we should, if you do in clay and things like that, I didn't want to take the risk because correction will keep on happening. So this was the best way. But since technology was available, even for Krish statue, I got it done in 3D printing. Today, they use for car designing and things like that to check the prototype which they make and whether it fits in, and if they change the design again, they use. So it's available. Only thing, it's available for industrial purposes, which we can use it since it is there. Like CNC machine and other things are, routers and other things are there in Maya. So they could help us that way. So what is available, we use most of the technology, like how he shoots with the drone today. And so much, those days I think it was nearly impossible to think of shots hanging from a helicopter. It was quite a risky job also. But today, when it is there, it makes our life easier. But only thing, either the next generation or the present generation itself is so lucky that everything is available to them. Only thing, they have to just find what is there and find the right place to use it actually.
I just want to add here, Mani sir, I think Mani Ratnam sir, worked extensively with Sabu sir, and he says that Sabu is a chemist, a physicist, and a mechanic all put together into one, all rolled into one. He's fantastic with materials. His understanding of using materials, applying materials is fabulous. So that's how he's been able to deliver, whether it's Chris or Bahubali or RRR. That's how he's been pulling it off.
In fact, in RRR and Bahubali, we used the rocks which were made I used polyol. It's a rubber kind of, it's a liquid form of rubber which we cast it. And so in Ramcharan's scene where he chases down a person who rolls down on the rock, he doesn't get hurt. Even in Bahubali, Prabhas jumps from one rock to another rock and all this thing, nothing happens to him. It will be soft, but it will look hard, it doesn't hurt people. So we need to really find out what is available. Those polyol materials, the one which they use for computer chairs, for the handles and things like that, even for the, because it will be softer and harder. The outer finish will be very smooth. We use that even to make guns, so that in an action sequence when they roll, it shouldn't hurt them, for the artists. So we use guns made out of polyol.
Thank you so much, everybody. Indian cinema wouldn't have been the same without the super talented people like both of you who have been evolving along with the times. Thank you so much once again.